Now we will move to the Technical University of Denmark, DTU, and the team Bioblade has focused on wind turbine blades and their repurposing.
Hello, so we are Bioblade from the Danish Technical University, and we're here to present our project that we developed in close collaboration with our client Ørsted, who is one of the leading providers of wind energy parks in the world. And to quickly sum up our project, we are taking decommissioned wind turbine blades and turning them into urban biodiversity improving solutions. As we are transitioning towards greener energy, wind energy is becoming an increasingly integral part of this solution. And naturally, therefore, also the amount of wind turbines who have to be decommissioned in the future is therefore also rapidly growing. And for 90% of the turbine, this is not an issue, but for the wind turbine blades, that they are made of a highly technical composite material, which unfortunately cannot be recycled currently. And it is estimated that in the next 25 to 30 years, there will be 120,000 tons of decommissioned turbine blades in Denmark alone. And right now, these blades are ending up in landfills or being stored or incinerated and used for low-quality polymer fillings, thereby wasting both the energy put into the process of creating them, but also the materials themselves. And this is why our design challenge lies within this intersection point of reducing the waste from wind turbine decommissioning, but also the challenge of improving biodiversity in relation to wind energy in general. And this is why our design strategy is to take these end-of-life wind turbine blades, turn them into these functional urban solutions, thereby storing the blades in a functional manner where they create value for the stakeholders until more viable recycling or disposal methods can be matured so the blades can be recycled fully.
So just to take you through the life cycle of a blade using our system. So we start up here around 1 o'clock with the disassembly on site, where they take down the windmills which have reached the end of life. Then we take over the windmill blades that are cut up into sections for us. And then we start a co-creation session with the local stakeholders, such as a municipality, where we do both an impact assessment and a co-design session where we develop products that work in their local environment. And then these products enter reality, and they are used for however long their lifespan is, until they have reached their end of life, whereafter we take them back, send them to the recycling facility using the technology which is currently well underway, where they can then after re-enter the cycle as new wind turbine blades. So how are we creating value for both our providers and our customers? Well, for the provider for our key resources, the Ørsted, we are providing them with CSR promotion and positive PR, and they have agreed to give us the windmills for free as long as they're used for biodiversity enhancing initiatives. And for the customers, the municipalities, which are essentially paying us for our time and connections, we are providing them with both local biodiversity and circular designs. So how do we do this? Well, basically our whole system is based on co-creation sessions. What we try to do is create a mutual understanding, map their needs, map the space where we're going to solve the issue in, and then initiate design games using building blocks we've made out of models of turbine blades, and help them create concepts and then further help them detailing their design. So we wanted to validate this, so we went to Køge municipality, which is a somewhat large municipality in Denmark, and tried to do this. And we developed several products. First of all, we developed urban furniture to provide social spaces. We developed walls and facades and sheltering to provide space for animals, namely bees and birds. We made sound barriers to have biodiversity also along the highways, and biophotoreactors to cleanse the air in the city.
So if we quickly zoom in on the future of this project work after we return home from this EuroTeQaThon in Prague, we will in the fall be kicking off our pilot project with Ørsted, where we are going to provide Ørsted with solutions within their own locations. And because this pilot project will be running internally within Ørsted, it's a nice and practical way of validating both our process and our solutions in a more low-risk environment where the customer is also more aligned with the end goal and our processes. And if you guys want to hear more about this, you can scan the QR code to see our information video, where we show you how we go from wings to wonder.
Thank you guys, perfect timing again, thank you for that. And we have time for the jury to ask their questions.
Okay, thanks guys. Great pitch and a beautiful idea, I think. Has cool elements. What I'm concerned about would be the, say, scalability. Have you done any calculations in terms of, you mentioned an X amount of ton of material coming out of Denmark alone each year. How big a percentage of this waste material can you recycle like this or reuse like this?
One of the things that's smart about this solution, where we facilitate new ideas in like each run or new solutions, is that the ideas are also catered to the specific quality of the incoming blade material. And one of the issues is that the blades are different sizes, different geometries, and different states. It differs if it's like a off-sea wind turbine blade that may be at lower quality, and you can then fit it to a solution where the structural integrity may be less of a quality concern in the product, and that way we will be able to take on more or recycle more of these blade materials in that way.
And I think it's also important to say that, of course, we'll not be able to process the entire amount of end-of-life wind turbines this way. We do not aim to either. We just want to be a part of the solution space there is. It might not be the best solution locally, but luckily this is a developing solution space.
May I ask a question? Yeah. You create upcycling something, and how long would it last then?
That depends a lot on what it is. So if it's one of the use objects, such as the urban furniture, you might expect a lifetime of, say, 10 years, 7 years. But for the sound barriers, our life expectancy is a lot longer because they bear very little wear and tear, and the material is a very, very strong material that is used to being in rough conditions.
That's why it also doesn't make sense to incinerate it or just throw it into landfill, because it's such a great, strong material.
Yeah, thank you from me as well, explaining a clear problem and the solution to it. My question is, have you researched into the area, and do you know if anyone else is actually working on solutions for this, and what way are they going?
There's a lot of different stakeholders working on solutions like this. Vestas and Siemens has just come out with teasers. I think they're keeping it pretty close to themselves about the specifics of the technology, but they've been out publishing articles about them developing this technology and it being closing in on being mature, but not being there yet.
There's also, I think, emerging startup that is shredding the material and use it as a soundproofing material for also highway barriers. But this also, disintegrates the product in a way that it might not be reusable come the time when that is possible.
Okay. You say you get the blades for free.
Yep.
But this makes you also kind of vulnerable as somebody offers, for example, to pay for the blades because they have a business model which can generate money. Then you will have to pay, and your sound barriers and such will become more expensive. Will you be able to compete and to provide your solution even if you start having to pay for the rest product for the blades?
We have discussed this with Ørsted, who so far also have offers to buy the windmill wings to use them as polymer fillers. But they were more interested in using it for their biodiversity enhancing initiatives, as they have some internal goals that they want to reach, which exceed the value of what they could get for selling it as a polymer filler, as this has a relatively low value per tonnage.
But yeah, I think it's difficult to say currently, like at the stage that we're in the project, if depending on what price people would be willing to pay for these end-of-life blades, it's difficultly estimating. But I think like the solutions create a great amount of value, and the municipalities would be paying for other materials already if they would implement similar solutions out of non-turbine blade materials. So I think it should work, but yeah, it's difficult to tell.
Maybe get the promise of Ørsted in black and white, like signed.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. We have 16, 13, 12, 11 seconds left. Sorry. Thank you, guys. This was Bioblade from the DTU.
Det gik meget godt.